750,000 people in the UK are adopted. But before the law changed in 1975, most adoptees never knew the identity of their birth parents. Margaret was adopted when she was just 6 months old. She's wondering if analysing her DNA might reveal the truth about her biological family.
Hey, how are you?
Very well.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Come on through, please.
So Margaret, what made you decide that you wanted to try and find out more about your biological family?
I'm not getting any younger. You know, having worked all my life and now retired, I just feel it's right now.
Which would suggest that you've been thinking about this for decades.
Yeah, and my mum sort of never gave me permission. She never said, if you ever want to go and find your birth mum. So, yeah, so I didn't. I was born January 1953. I was brought up in a very happy household. Although I knew I was adopted, it was nothing. That was my mum. I didn't know anything else. She was my mum. Mum and Dad trying for a family, but wasn't successful, so they went to see the priest. And the priest put them in touch with the adoption agency in Southport. Southport and Liverpool, a lot of Irish ladies came over for the adoption. So I've made up this story that she was an Irish lady. She came over, had me, and probably went back to Ireland.
The only thing Margaret knows about her biological mum is the name written on her birth certificate. But Margaret has always worried she might not have used her real name.
What are you hoping to take from this entire experience? And if we're able to hand over information, how would that affect your life?
Probably a bit of a cliche, but will probably make me feel complete. That's what it is, bad or good.
That's news to you?
Yeah. And if my birth mum, she was alive, just, you know, just that would be wonderful. To go through my life now and not know that there is something else, yeah, I should know.
You do deserve to know. It's your heritage, it's your DNA, it's what makes you, effectively.
It's quite exciting now, thinking, how's this going to go? What we're going to find out?
How often do you think about your biological mum?
I think on my birthday. Yeah, because I always used to think, if nothing else, she would have thought, yeah, I gave birth on that day. You would too, wouldn't you? Yeah, it would mean something.
So you've thought about her every single birthday?
Yeah, just quietly to myself, yeah.
And then I imagine you sort of pushing it to the back of your mind and
exactly.
just getting on with things.
That's it, yeah, just a little moment.
Life's so short, Margaret.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's been nagging, if you've been thinking about it for a long time, I mean, if you've thought about it every single birthday and you're 67 years old, you know, why not? Why not?
Yeah. There must be a whole family out there with my DNA, but I don't know them. It was a shameful thing to have a child and you weren't married. So it could have been a dark secret, and now I'm maybe opening a can of worms. But then, you know, you don't know what's around the corner, so let's go for it. I'll be damned. brave. Yeah.
Margaret's going to the University of Leicester to meet Professor Churi King. As one of the UK's top geneticists, we're hoping Churi's experience analysing DNA can help Margaret finally find out about her ancestry.
Come on in, take a seat. So, Margaret, how can I help you? What would you like to know?
I think the big thing is there's things I'd like to find out about my birth mum.
It sounds very much like the hints that are coming to you are Irish. And this was a period of time when it was incredibly difficult. Contraception was illegal in Ireland, abortion was illegal, even adoption was illegal in Ireland. And so there was about 2,000 women a year coming over from Ireland, often to places like Liverpool, because it's one of the nearest ports where they could put the children for adoption. So you were definitely not alone.
Yeah.
We don't know that that's what happened with your mum, but it could certainly have been the circumstances, and that's something that obviously we will try and look into. So in terms of the science, what we're going to do is we're taking your DNA and we are matching it against databases that contain, 25 million people from around the world to see if we can find any biological relatives. And it may not be that we find sort of half siblings, but it could be cousins and so on. The other thing we'll do is we can look at a piece of DNA known as mitochondrial DNA, and that comes down to you from your mum. So it's in the egg. So it comes from your mum, which will come from her mum, and going back through time. And what you find is that you get different types in different parts of the world. So we can have a look and see what kind of mitochondrial DNA that you have there. And hopefully that'll give you a little bit of information about your ancestry. So we will do anything we can do to point you towards who your mum was.
Yeah, that's super.
Right, so we need to do a DNA test. So for that, we need to get a sample of your saliva. So we have these kits. They're called spit kits.
Churi and our team will now examine Margaret's genetic code to try and track down her birth family, while our counsellors and social workers prepare Margaret for whatever we may find. While Margaret's waiting for her DNA test results to try to find out more about her birth mother, she wants to chat to her daughter Anna about what they may uncover about their family.
I've wanted to know for over a decade, and in fact I did look into how I would find out how to track down. Like, I've gone on Google before and searched, Liverpool adoption to see if I could find anything that way.
Was that why you wanted my hairbrush?
Swap from your cheek. I think I've tried to approach it more than once before. And I think you just weren't interested in going there. You almost subconsciously just changed the subject. But I think maybe a lot of that was out of respect for when Nan and Grandad were still here. Do you feel ready?
Yeah.
And how do you feel about going forward? What might be found?
I think realistically I've left it too late to find the birth mum, because I don't think she would be alive. And that's something I keep thinking about, if may I have a photo?
Oh,
yeah. So that would be nice. And the other thing is to find out if she went back to Ireland or went on happily.
Yeah, you'd want to know that she'd kind of...
She was okay.
Yeah, she'd had a full life.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed that you get all the answers that you want.
shocked to hear how long Anna had wanted to know. And as she said, I totally disregarded what she said, but she's been sensitive enough to know I've not done that in a nasty way. I've just not answered the question, not ignored it, but I haven't chosen to answer the question. And yeah, it's worrying, that.
Margaret is on her way back to the University of Leicester. Chori and our team have been analysing Margaret's DNA to find out about her birth mother's ancestry and attempting to trace her family.
Hello. Hey, how are you, Brian?
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You get down okay?
Yes.
Today she's joined by husband Paul to get her results.
Margaret, how are you feeling?
I woke up feeling very excited this morning.
That's great.
I thought, you know, I've not known, 67 years, not known, and now today I will.
Do you want to head next door and Paul and I will wait for you?
Okay.
Hello. Come on in, take a seat. Oh, it's lovely to see you again. How are you doing?
And you, yeah.
Good, good. Okay, so what we did was we were taking your DNA and we're analyzing it against people in databases that total about 25 million people. So we're looking for first cousins, second cousins, third cousins, this kind of thing. So it's probably going to come as no surprise, but you come back as 93% Irish.
Wow.
And you've actually got concentrations in particular parts of Ireland. So let's show you. So you actually have concentrations in places like Leitrim, Cavan, and Louth. So in this kind of area. So you've got central Ireland here, and then you've got Ulster in Northern Ireland. Mm-hmm. So definitely your parents are Irish. So I know that you were particularly interested in finding your birth mum. Now, fortunately for us, DNA testing is really, really popular in Ireland. There's also apparently about 80 million people worldwide who claim Irish ancestry, many of them in areas of parts of the world where DNA testing is also very, very popular. So that's what we're looking for. We're trying to hone in and see if we can find out who your birth mum is. We got lucky. So we found 1 first cousin, 6 second cousins, 19 third cousins. And we know about this because of how much DNA they share with you. And that led us to your grandparents. So your grandparents are Margaret and James. So that led us to concentrate on their daughters, and more specifically, their youngest daughter, Bridget. So let's draw you this family tree. So this is your family tree. So you've got Margaret and James, and they have a daughter, Bridget. Bridget has 2 children. And we talked to them. So her 2 children, they really, really didn't think that Bridget had had any other children. And there was this family story that the eldest sister had had an illegitimate child who had been given up for adoption. Because we wanted to be really, really sure which one of these 2 sisters was your mum. So we took your DNA, we analyzed it against Bridget's 2 children, and that gave us our answer. So your birth mum is Bridget. So this would be with her husband. You would come off here with your biological father, and you come off there. So you have got younger half siblings.
Yeah.
So that's as far as I can take you with the DNA evidence.
There you go.
Okay. That's me. That's her sister and half brother and sister.
Wow. Gosh.
Margaret. Oh.
I think she said 95% of me is Irish.
Which you thought anyway.
Yeah.
So you were right.
Yeah, towards north, which, yeah. And found the grandparents, and there's his birth mum, Bridget, and there's me.
So Margaret, we've been able to get our hands on the picture of your mum. Would you like to see them?
Yeah, lovely.
This is your mum.
Oh, wow. Gosh, she looks... I can just see something in me in there. Can you?
Yeah.
Oh.
How are you feeling?
Just got one question. Is she still alive? No.
She is.
She is?
No.
Your mum's still alive.
Oh, flipping heck.
She lives in Ireland. She's in a care home. She's got dementia. But she's alive and they're looking after her. And actually your siblings are really excited to meet you. And actually they've written you a letter and they've asked me to pass it on.
Oh, look at this. Dear Margaret, hope this letter finds you safe and well. We are overjoyed to discover we have a sister. We are sad that our mother kept you a secret all of these years. Our mother was a very bubbly, outgoing person and loved her bright colours. She read a lot and liked the game of bingo. Our mother now is in her 90s, and in 2015 she was diagnosed with vascular dementia.
Oh, well.
And needs full-time care. We are glad to hear you had a happy childhood and made a good life for yourself. We are all looking forward to meeting you. Welcome you into our family. It's lovely.
Well done, you.
Absolutely lovely. Oh.
Two siblings and your mum. What a morning.
Gosh, I didn't expect all of
Oh,
that. Really
I hoped
didn't.
it, but you don't.
It's not worth it, isn't it, when it all comes together and you now have these answers.
Woke up this morning and got a family. It's just beyond words. You know, birth mum's still alive. How amazing is that? I wanted to know if she had a good life. And I know she has now, so that's great. Yes, that's really good.